Ryan never believed in superstition, but tonight something felt wrong around his small research base on the alien moon Valenine. Everything was quiet, too quiet. Even the wind outside had stopped, like the forest itself was holding its breath. Ryan sat near the window, checking his tools, when he felt it again. That strange sensation. Someone was watching him. He stood up slowly and looked outside. There was nothing, just tall trees, silver grass, and shadows that moved gently with the cold air. But the feeling didn't leave. Instead, it grew stronger. Like invisible eyes were following every move he made. Ryan told himself it was stress from working alone for months, but then he noticed something new. Claw marks, fresh, deep, right on his metal door. He froze. He had never seen any animal come this close to the base before, and these marks. They looked too sharp, too perfect, like whoever made them wanted him to see them. Ryan grabbed his scanner and stepped outside. The air was cold, the moonlight bright, the ground was soft with frost. He bent down and saw footprints, light, careful, almost silent, not human. Not fully animal either. Small heel, long toes. Like something walked half on feet, half on paws. That's when he smelled it. A strange scent floating in the air. Warm, sweet, wild, like flowers mixed with fire. He took a step back. Something was wrong. He turned quickly and locked the door. Behind him, his breath shaking in his chest. But when he turned on the lights inside, he realized the scent had followed him. It was coming from the tiny air filter near the window. Like something had been right there, breathing through the gap. Ryan barely slept that night. The next morning, he opened the door, and his heart almost stopped. A white-furred creature stood in front of him, but it was not a creature. It was a woman. Or something close. She had long silver hair, sharp fox ears, and bright amber eyes that glowed in the sunlight. Her skin was pale with soft fur patterns that shimmered with gold. She had a long, fluffy tail curled gently behind her. She wasn't wearing armor or clothing like the local tribes. Only simple cloth wrapped around her body, leaving her arms bare. She stared at him, unblinking, not afraid, but curious. Ryan slowly stepped back inside, but she took a quiet step forward, following him with her eyes. Her voice was soft, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. "Human," she said. "I found your scent." Ryan froze. Her voice was gentle, but under it was something wild, something old, like she was speaking from instinct, not language. Before he could respond, she tilted her head slightly, her ears twitching. She inhaled slowly, deeply, almost tasting the air around him. Her eyes widened, her tail rose. A strange shiver ran through her whole body, and she whispered, "You are mine." Ryan's heart dropped. "What? No. I don't even know you, but..." Before he could finish, she moved. Fast. Too fast. Like a shadow of light. One blink, and she was gone, disappearing back into the forest with silent steps. Ryan shut the door quickly, locking it twice. His hands shook. His breath was heavy. Who was she? Why did she smell him like that? How did she move so silently? He tried working, but he couldn't focus. Every sound outside made him jump. Every shadow looked like her shape. He checked the cameras, nothing. Checked the forest sensors, nothing. But when night came, he heard footsteps circling the base. Soft, slow, and again. That warm, wild scent drifting into the air. He peeked out the window. There she was, standing in the moonlight, staring directly at him. She lifted her hand and tapped her chest twice, then pointed at him, then whispered loud enough for him to hear through the thin glass. "Mating season." Ryan backed away from the window instantly, his heart racing. She wasn't just curious. She was claiming him, marking him, choosing him, and the scariest part, no matter how far she stood, her eyes never stopped following him. Like she was waiting, watching, hunting with patience older than human history. Ryan realized something terrifying. This fox woman wasn't going to stop. Not tonight, not tomorrow. Not until she had what she wanted him. Ryan woke up the next morning, hoping everything was just a strange dream. But the moment he stepped outside, he knew it. Single quotes to dot right in front of his door. Placed carefully on the ground was a freshly hunted creature, a soft-furred moon deer with a clean cut across its throat. No animal killed like this. This was a gift. From her. Ryan stepped back inside quickly and locked the door. His heartbeat slammed against his ribs. Why him? How did she even find him? He had lived quietly for months. No contact with the local tribes. No fights, no trouble. But now a fox woman was treating him like a mate. He tried focusing on his work at the console. But the scent returned. Sweet, warm, wild. He knew what that meant. She was nearby again. Ryan checked the outside cameras. Their camera 4. A shape sitting on the rocks across from the base. Tail wrapped around her legs. Ears pointed toward him like antennas, listening to his every step. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't ashamed. She was watching him openly, claiming her space. Near him. And then she did something that made Ryan's blood turn cold. She lifted a small pouch and poured something on the ground, glowing symbols that formed circles and patterns, primitive but intentional. A ritual. Ryan had seen similar symbols in the archives. A fox bonding circle. A sign of pairing, marriage, claiming. He whispered to himself, No, this can't be happening. But outside, she placed her hand on her heart, then pressed her palm into the glowing symbol. A golden light spread from her hand. Like ripples on water. Ryan watched, horrified, as she whispered something into the wind. It wasn't human language, but the meaning felt heavy, old, binding. And then she smiled. A slow, satisfied smile. She had just completed part of a mating ritual. Without him, Ryan swallowed hard. I have to talk to her, he muttered, even though fear twisted in his stomach. Running wouldn't help. Locking doors wouldn't help. She could smell him. Track him. Move faster than any human. He stepped outside carefully. The moment she saw him, her ears perked up. Her tail lifted. Her eyes glowed with excited warmth. She stood silent, staring at him the way a predator studies prey, but also the way someone looks at something precious. Usha, he whispered, remembering the tribal name for fox women. Her eyes widened slightly at hearing her name from a human. She stepped closer slowly, carefully, as if approaching something fragile. But Ryan held out a hand, stopping her. She froze. Instantly, obediently, like his small movement meant the world to her. I don't understand why you're following me, Ryan said softly. I'm human. He didn't want to offend her. You're from a proud species. You deserve someone from your tribe, not me. She blinked once, twice, confused, hurt. Her ears lowered. Then she pointed at him, touched her own chest, and whispered, Your scent chose me. Ryan shook his head. That's not how it works. I don't choose by smell. But she stepped closer again, inhale slowly like she was breathing his soul into her lungs. She trembled, her tail shaking, her voice barely above a whisper. I feel you. Here. She placed her hand over her heart. Strong, calling me. Ryan stepped back. No, I didn't call you. I don't want. Her tail snapped straight like she'd been struck. She looked shattered, but then her expression changed. Her ears rose. Her pupils sharpened. She stepped forward again, voice stronger. I protect you. She pointed at the forest. Danger comes. I smell it. Ryan frowned. Danger? What danger? But she didn't answer. Instead, she turned her head sharply, ears twisting like radar. She sniffed the air and growled, a low, deep growl no human throat could make. Then she said a single word. Male. Ryan blinked. Male what? Asha looked at him with fierce, burning eyes. Another male, wants you dead. Before Ryan could respond, she grabbed his arm and pulled him behind her. Her claws extended, her tail flicked aggressively. Her body stood between him and the forest like a living shield. Ryan finally understood. She wasn't stalking him just for love. She was protecting him from something else. Something worse, that something coming for him, and she wasn't going to let him go. Ryan didn't understand what Asha meant at first. Another male? Why would another fox male care about him? But Asha's body language told him everything: ears straight, tail stiff, claws out, eyes locked onto the forest like she was staring at death itself. Ryan whispered, "Asha, who is he?" She didn't look back. Her voice became sharper, colder. "He wants my scent. He saw I chose you. Now he wants you gone." Ryan's chest tightened. He wasn't just being stalked. He was being hunted. A sudden howl echoed from deep inside the forest, long, angry, territorial. The kind of sound that made the ground vibrate. Ryan instinctively stepped back, but Asha grabbed his wrist gently and pulled him close behind her. Her claws clicked against the frozen ground. Her fur puffed up along her spine. She whispered, "Stay behind me, human." Before Ryan could speak again, the trees ahead bent sharply. As something huge crashed through them, a fox male appeared. But he was nothing like Asha. He was taller, huge, built for battle, black and red fur, eyes like burning coals. His face was painted with tribal markings of warriors. His claws were longer than knives, his teeth sharp enough to tear metal flesh. Asha pushed Ryan back. Her voice dropped into a deadly growl. "Cavern." Ryan could feel the hatred between them, not simple rivalry, not simple jealousy. This was ancient instinct, a fight for dominance, mating rights, territory, pride. Cavern snarled loudly and slammed his claws into the ground, marking the soil. A challenge. Asha hissed and stepped forward, matching his movement. Ryan whispered, "Asha, wait. This is insane. You can't fight him alone." Asha did not even look at him. Her voice shook with fierce loyalty. "I protect my chosen mate." Ryan felt his heart freeze. Chosen mate? He didn't even understand this culture. Yet she was ready to risk her life for him. Cavern shot forward like lightning dot. Everything happened too fast. Claws slashed. Asha blocked. They crashed into each other with a force that shook the trees. Ryan stumbled backwards as they rolled across the ground, snarling, biting, clawing. Asha fought like someone possessed, her tail whipping for balance, her claws deflecting Cavern's attacks. She moved with speed that didn't seem possible. But Cavern was monstrous. Every time Asha struck him, he struck harder. Every time she dodged, he got closer. Ryan shouted, "Asha! Asha, stop, this is too dangerous." But she didn't stop. She couldn't stop. She fought because Ryan was behind her, because she believed she had to protect him. Suddenly, Cavern's claw tore across her arm. Asha cried out and stumbled. Blood dripped onto the frozen soil. Cavern lunged for the kill. Ryan moved. He grabbed a metal tool from the ground and threw it with all his strength. The device hit Cavern's shoulder and sparked loudly, stunning him for a second. Asha looked back at Ryan with shock. "You help me?" Ryan breathed hard. "I'm not letting you die for me." That single moment changed everything. Asha's eyes burned with a new kind of fire, not instinct, not scent, but emotion. She leaped toward Cavern with a roar, using the last of her strength. Claws flashed like silver lightning. She slashed across Cavern's face. He screamed and staggered back, blinded for a moment. But he wasn't done. Snarling, he slammed his body into Asha and threw her across the ground. She hit a tree hard, blood spraying from her mouth. "Asha!" Ryan sprinted toward her, but Cavern moved again, charging straight for Ryan now. Asha's eyes snapped open, her breath sharp, her voice breaking. "Ryan!" She forced her injured body upright and dived between them, slamming into Kavran with everything she had. The two fox creatures tumbled back into the forest, leaving Ryan frozen in shock. He heard more growling, more crashes, more pain-filled howls, then silence. Cold, crushing silence. Ryan grabbed a stick and stepped slowly into the forest, fear twisting every step. Asha. Asha. He found her lying against a tree, bleeding, breathing hard, her clothes torn, her fur matted with blood. But she was alive. When she saw him, she gave a weak smile. "You smell safe," she whispered. Ryan kneeled beside her and held her trembling hand. "Why did you risk your life?" Her eyes softened. "Because you are mine, and I am yours." Ryan's heart pounded. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to accept this. But in that moment, he realized something. Asha didn't want to trap him. She wanted to protect him, even if it cost her life. And somewhere, deep in the forest, Kavran's angry howl echoed. The fight was not over. Asha was still bleeding when Ryan helped her back to his base. She could barely walk, but every time he tried to lift her, she insisted on standing on her own feet, stubborn, proud, and unwilling to appear weak in front of the human she had chosen. Inside the base, Ryan gently wrapped bandages around her arm. Asha watched him silently, her golden eyes soft with pain yet filled with something warmer. She had risked her life for him. She had fought a strong warrior because she believed Ryan belonged to her, but Ryan wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about Kavran. That monster was still out there. "We need help," Ryan whispered. "Your tribe, they must know something. They must stop him." Asha stiffened. Her tail lowered. Her expression changed. "My tribe will not help you." Ryan frowned. "Why not?" Asha looked away, shame flickering across her face. "Because I broke tradition." Ryan sat beside her. "By choosing me?" She nodded slowly. "My people choose mates by scent, instinct, heart." Her voice shook softly. "But no fox woman has ever chosen a human before." Ryan swallowed. She continued. "If a female chooses outside the tribe becomes divided. Some accept, some hate, some want the outsider dead." Ryan's heartbeat quickened. "So, Kavran isn't alone?" Asha didn't answer. Her silence was enough. Ryan stood up and walked to the door, frustration burning in his chest. "So they want me gone? Because you chose me? That's not fair." Asha lowered her ears sadly. "Instinct does not follow fairness." Before Ryan could reply, a loud whistle cut through the air. He looked out the window. 5 fox warriors stood outside his base. Tall, armored, deadly. Asha tensed instantly. Her claws flexed. Her tail puffed up. "Stay behind me," she whispered. Ryan opened the door slowly. The warriors didn't enter. They simply stared at him with cold, sharp eyes full of judgment. Their leader stepped forward, a female with dark orange fur and tribal paint across her face. She spoke calmly, but each word carried a blade's edge. "Human, you have caused imbalance." Ryan blinked. "Me? I didn't do anything." The warrior ignored his protest. "Asha has chosen you. She marked your scent. She protected you. She fought her own kind for you." A second warrior growled angrily. "This is wrong. She should choose one of us." Asha pushed Ryan behind her and bared her fangs at them. "He is mine. I decide." The first warrior sighed. "Asha, you break tradition. You confuse the young. And now Kavran is mad with envy. This will bring war to our clan." Ryan stepped beside Asha. "Then stop him. You all saw how dangerous he is." The warriors exchanged glances. Finally, the leader spoke. "Kavran challenges the human. He believes killing you will break Asha's bond. He has the right, according to tribal law." Ryan felt his stomach drop. "I'm not a fighter. I can't fight him. The warrior replied coldly, "Then you die." Asha stepped forward, fury blazing in her eyes. "If he dies, I die." The entire warrior group froze. Asha had just broken an even deeper rule, one older than their tribe itself. A warrior whispered, horrified, "She speaks the vow of life-bind." Another muttered, "No fox may has sworn that in a generation." The leader stared at Asha in disbelief. "Yusha, you bind your life to a human?" Asha whispered firmly, "Yes." Ryan felt the world spin. She was basically saying, if Ryan dies, she chooses death too. The warrior stepped away from her like she had become sacred or cursed. He couldn't tell. Finally, the leader spoke. "Then we will warn you only once, human. Cavern is coming. He will challenge you soon. You cannot run. Not from him, not from the ritual." Then her voice softened slightly. "But know this, Asha will stand between you and death, even if it destroys her." With that, the warriors vanished back into the forest, leaving Ryan and Asha alone again. Ryan turned to her, trembling. "Asha, why? Why would you risk everything for me?" Asha looked at him with gentle, tired eyes. "Because when I smelled your scent, my heart spoke your name." Ryan didn't know what fate awaited him now, but one thing was clear. Asha's tribe was split. Cavern wanted blood, and Ryan was trapped in a world he didn't understand. But Asha? She wasn't leaving his side. Not ever. Ryan barely slept. After the warriors left, the base felt smaller, darker, and much more dangerous. Every shadow looked like cavern. Every sound felt like claws on metal. But what scared him more wasn't cavern. It was what Asha had said. If he dies, I die. Why would she tie her life to his? Why would she stake her tribe, her future, her soul on him? Ryan sat on a chair, head in his hands, trying to understand. Asha, wrapped in bandages, watched him quietly from the floor where she rested. Her tail lay weakly beside her, no longer fluffy or high. She was exhausted and hurt, but her eyes never left him. After minutes of heavy silence, she finally spoke. "Human, you hide something." Ryan looked up. "What do you mean?" She pointed at her nose. "Your scent, it is not normal." Ryan frowned. "My scent?" Asha nodded slowly. "To us, scent is life. It speaks more truth than words. And your scent." She inhaled deeply, pupils widening. "Your scent is powerful, ancient, rare." Ryan shifted uncomfortably. "Asha, I'm just a normal engineer." "No," she interrupted softly. "You are marked." Ryan's blood ran cold. He hadn't told her. He hadn't told anyone, but Asha knew. He stood up and walked to a small metal locker. He opened it and pulled out a sealed medical pack stamped with human scientific symbols. Asha watched him silently. Inside the pack was a small vial glowing faint blue. Ryan held it in his hand, staring at it like a ghost from his past. "My scent is different because humans did something. Something risky," Ryan said quietly. "Before I came to this moon, I was part of a survival experiment." Asha's ears rose slightly. Ryan continued. "We were exposed to a chemical. Something meant to help humans survive alien ecosystems. It changed how our bodies work, especially how we give off pheromones." Asha blinked slowly. "Pheromones?" Ryan nodded. "It means smell signals, like instincts. They affect animals, sometimes even alien species." Asha whispered. "So your scent calls to me because of this chemical?" Ryan nodded painfully. "It wasn't meant to attract. It was meant to protect. To warn dangerous predators not to attack us. But with your kind, it seems to do the opposite." Asha's ears lowered. "So, your heart did not call me. The chemical did." Ryan closed his eyes. He expected her to leave, to feel betrayed, to walk out the door and erase him from her life. But she didn't. Instead, Asha crawled slowly toward him, her steps weak but steady. She placed her hand gently on his wrist and whispered, "Scent is not everything." Her eyes were soft, glowing. With warmth. "I watched you." Ryan looked confused. "Watched me?" Asha nodded. "You repair broken things. You save injured creatures. You speak softly to the forest when you walk. You are calm. You are kind." She pressed her palm lightly to his chest. "My scent chose you first, but my heart followed after." Ryan felt a strange warmth in his chest as she leaned her forehead against his. Even injured, she seemed strong. Gentle, loyal in a way he had never seen in any species. But then her voice lowered again. "The tribe will not believe this." Ryan sighed. "They think your scent chose me. They think I stole you." Asha nodded. "And Cavern thinks killing you will break the bond." Sharp, chilling thought hit Ryan. What happens if my scent leaves your body? If I move far away? If we break the connection? Asha's breath trembled. "I will die." Ryan froze. "What do you mean die? Like, literally?" Asha nodded. "Fox women bind once. When we choose a mate, our heart scent changes. If the bond breaks too fast..." Her voice shook with fear. "Our bodies collapse." Ryan staggered back, horrified. So she wasn't obsessed. She wasn't acting out of animal instinct. She was fighting to stay alive. Her bond to him wasn't just emotional, it was biological. Her body depended on him staying alive. Ryan's voice cracked. "Asha, I didn't know. I didn't choose this." Asha touched his cheek gently. "I chose you. Now we survive together." Before Ryan could answer, a low growl echoed in the distance. A warning. A declaration. Cavern, he was coming. And this time, he wasn't alone. Asha stood slowly, despite her wounds. Her claws extended again. Her tail lifted in defiance. "He brings others," she whispered. "They come to take you." Ryan swallowed hard. The final challenge had begun. Asterisk. Ryan barely had time to process Asha's warning before the forest fell silent. Too silent. No wind. No birds. No distant animal cries. Only silence heavy as stone. Asha's ears twitched sharply. Her tail rose, fur standing like spikes. Even injured, she moved in front of Ryan like a shield. "Do not move," she whispered. Ryan swallowed hard. "Asha, how many are coming?" Asha sniffed the air slow, deep, focused. Then her eyes widened. 4 males, 1 elder. "They come for you." Ryan felt cold crawl down his spine. "Why an elder?" Asha's voice turned dark. "Because the tribe wants to end the bond by force." Ryan shook his head helplessly. "This is insane. I'm not even part of your tribe." Asha lowered her head slightly. "You are now." Then, branches snapped. Shadows moved between the trees. Growls rumbled deep in the forest. The fox warriors appeared slowly, their glowing eyes reflecting the dim, pale light. They were bigger than Asha, stronger, their claws sharper, their bodies painted with red tribal markings. And then the elder stepped forward. Old, tall, covered in white fur, eyes like frozen fire. He spoke in a calm but merciless tone. "Human, Asha has bonded to you. This has never happened before." Ryan took a shaky step back, but Asha blocked him with her tail. The elder continued, "You threatened the tribe's order. Therefore, you must face the trial of blood." Ryan's mouth went dry. "What trial?" One of the warriors snarled. "Fight Cavern." Ryan stared at them in disbelief. "I'm human. I can't fight a creature twice my size." The elder didn't blink. "Then die with honor." Asha hissed loudly, stepping in front of Ryan. "I refuse. He is mine. I will not let you harm him." The elder turned his cold eyes on her. "Your choice has broken ancient law. If he cannot fight, then you fight in his place." Asha froze. Ryan's breath caught. "No," he said immediately. "She's wounded. She can't take another fight. Usha looked at him, eyes softening. I will fight for you. No, Ryan yelled. He grabbed her shoulders. You almost died last time. You can't do it again. Usha touched his cheek gently. A mate protects, even with their last breath. Ryan's eyes burned. He didn't understand this world, these rules, this fierce loyalty she showed. But he knew one thing. He couldn't let her die. He stepped forward, trembling but determined. I'll fight. Usha's eyes widened in horror. No, you can't. Kavrin will tear you apart. But Ryan shook his head. If I run, you die. If I stay behind you, you die. If I choose nothing, you die. Usha grabbed his arm as if trying to pull him back. Human. I can't lose you. Ryan placed his hand over hers. You won't. The elder nodded slowly, impressed by Ryan's courage. The trial begins at moonrise. He pointed his claw at Ryan. If you survive 3 strikes from Kavrin, you win. Ryan blinked. 3 strikes? The elder hissed. 3 attacks. 3 blows. If you live after that. The tribe accepts the bond. Ryan exhaled shakily. This wasn't a fight he could win. He just had to survive. The warriors disappeared into the forest, leaving Usha and Ryan alone again. Usha collapsed to her knees, gripping Ryan's shirt desperately. You can't fight him. You're not built for our combat. You're slow. You're soft. Ryan knelt beside her, holding her trembling hands. Usha, I know I can't beat him, but I can survive long enough. He smiled weakly. Besides, I'm not alone. Usha blinked, confused. Ryan held up a small device strapped to his wrist. A survival tool, a shock emitter. Designed to stun wild animals. It wasn't strong enough to kill Kavrin, but it might keep him alive for 3 strikes. Usha stared at it then. At Ryan. You are clever. Her voice softened. And very foolish. She leaned her forehead against his. My foolish human. Ryan smiled weakly. Then Usha whispered the words that shattered him. If you die, I will follow. Ryan gripped her hands tightly. I won't die, I promise. But deep inside, fear gnawed at him. Night was coming. The moon was rising. And Kavrin was waiting. The trial of blood had begun. Moonrise came slowly, painfully slowly. Ryan stood at the edge of the clearing, the cold wind brushing against his skin, carrying the distant scent of danger. The clearing was a perfect circle surrounded by tall glowing trees. This was the arena, the place the Fox tribe used for ancient battles. Usha stood beside him, trembling with fear. She tried to hide. Her ears were flat, her tail wrapped protectively around his leg. Her claws, though weak from injury, were ready to fight again if he fell. Ryan touched her hand gently. I can do this, he whispered. Usha shook her head desperately. Please, run. I won't let them blame you. Ryan's voice softened. I'm not running, not from this, and not from you. Usha's golden eyes filled with emotion, but before she could speak, the elder's voice boomed across the clearing. Begin the trial. The Fox warriors formed a circle around them, their eyes shining like cold stars. A hush fell over the forest, until a monstrous growl shook the ground. Kavrin stepped out. He was bigger than Ryan remembered, his fur bristling with rage, scars glowing red, claws extended like blades. His breathing was heavy, full of fury, hunger, jealousy, and territorial rage. And then he looked at Ryan. Not at Usha, not at the tribe, at the human he wanted dead. Usha snarled and stepped forward, but warriors grabbed her arms. She cried out louder than Ryan had ever heard her. Ryan, don't fight him. Please, the elder raised his hand. 3 strikes. Ryan swallowed. His body trembled, but he stood tall. Strike 1. Kavrin lunged with terrifying speed. Ryan barely dodged. Kavrin's claws sliced the air inches from his face. cutting his cheek lightly. Ryan activated his shock device and pressed it to Cavern's ribs as the creature passed. A powerful crackle shot through the forest. Cavern roared in pain and stumbled back. The tribe gasped. Usha cried out, "Ryan!" But Ryan stayed standing. One strike survived. Cavern's eyes blazed with hatred. He circled Ryan like a wolf around prey. Strike two. Cavern charged again, this time smarter. He faked left, jumped right, and slammed Ryan onto the ground. Ryan's breath flew out of his lungs. He rolled just in time to avoid a killing blow. Blood poured from his shoulder where Cavern's claws grazed him. Ryan gasped, dizzy, but raised the shock device again. Usha screamed, "Move, Ryan! Move!" He rolled under Cavern's swipe and pressed the shock device to his leg. Another violent burst of energy. Cavern stumbled and fell to one knee. Ryan collapsed too. But he was alive. 2 strikes survived. The crowd murmured in disbelief. A human surviving 2 blows from a tribal warrior? Impossible. Asha's eyes were full of tears and pride. "Ryan! Ryan!" she whispered, voice breaking. But Cavern was furious now beyond reason, beyond control. He roared so loudly the trees shook. Strike 3, the final attack. Cavern abandoned all strategy. He sprinted at Ryan like a meteor of muscle and claws. Ryan couldn't dodge fast enough. Cavern's strike hit him full force, throwing him across the ground. Blood sprayed across the grass. Ryan screamed in pain as he crashed into a tree. Usha tore herself free from the warriors and sprinted toward him. "Ryan!" He lay there weak, bleeding, barely conscious. Cavern roared in triumph and leaped to finish the kill. But Usha was faster. She threw herself in front of Ryan, claws out, teeth bared, eyes burning like fire. Her scream shook the whole forest. "He is mine!" The impact shook the ground. Usha's body collided with Cavern's midair. Claws slashed, teeth tore. They rolled violently, each fighting for their mate, their pride, their life. Finally Cavern collapsed, breathing hard. Defeated. Usha stood over him, trembling, bleeding, victorious. The tribe froze. The elder whispered, "The human survived 3 strikes." Usha rushed to Ryan, falling beside him. "Ryan, open your eyes, please." Ryan smiled weakly through the pain. You saved me again." Usha held his face with shaking hands. "I chose you. But you fought for me. You stayed for me. You gave your life for me," Ryan whispered. "Because you're worth it." Usha leaned down, touching her forehead to his, this time gently, lovingly. The elder raised his hand. "The bond is accepted. The tribe honors them." Every fox warrior bowed. Usha cried soft, relieved, tears falling under Ryan's chest. "You live, so I live." Ryan weakly squeezed her hand. "You're not losing me, ever." The moonlight shone on them, glowing softly over the new bond between human and fox woman. Usha wrapped her tail around him protectively. And in that moment, the tribe, the forest, and even the stars above accepted a new truth. A human and a fox woman had chosen each other, not by scent alone, but by courage, loyalty, and love. HFY